So, Kalev, we've talked about how you get ready and your first steps for going down the divorce and separation route. And now we need to talk about how you select a lawyer.
Yeah.
So, what are the 5 things that you need to look for in a lawyer?
Okay, well, it may not necessarily be 5, but I'll see if I can get you 5. So I think, the position we're in now is that the client, the person is ready to take that step, they're emotionally ready. For myself, if you liken it to going and having a really important operation medically, really important decision, you want to have the right surgeon who's going to be working on you. Similarly, choosing the right lawyer is important. So naturally enough, I think experience is a key attribute. So you want to perhaps understand whether that lawyer has done this type of law for a long time. And I think what's particularly important is that if you get to the crunch, you need that lawyer represent you in the court. And I should emphasise, we don't want you in court, but if it does come to the crunch, you want someone that's got your back and has got the experience, has a good rapport with judges. So the first key attribute is experience. So maybe find out, how many trials have you done in the family court or the high court in the last 5 years? Have you done appeals to the Court of Appeal or maybe even the Supreme Court? Because why that's important is typically relationship property disputes will get settled outside of court. But
Sort of 99%, 90%?
Well, maybe not 99, but maybe sort of 90 to 95.
Right.
And I think it's important that when you're dealing with your ex-partner and they've got a lawyer, that the opposing lawyer understands that the lawyer representing you does have experience in the court. Now what that means is that that lawyer will understand that if the case doesn't settle, they'll be going to court and facing an adversary that has good experience. That feeds back so that you've got a higher chance of getting a settlement, and a good settlement. So experience is number 1. The second attribute, in my view, is a lawyer that has an approach that is collaborative. The lawyer is not the medieval priest with all the answers or the magician that's going to sort everything out. My view is that you need to work at this as a team, yourself and the client, and there may be another lawyer working with you. So someone that is prepared to work collaboratively and recognise a team approach, because you will know your situation much better than the lawyer. And I think to get a good result, you need to take some ownership. And by working together, I think you get a better result. So a collaborative approach. Now, in giving you that answer, I talked about team. Lawyers are like any other human being. Some people may not agree with that. But they get sick, or they go on holidays, or they may have other cases, and occasionally they may not be available to you. But you may have a pressing concern that you want to raise with that lawyer. So I think it's important that the lawyer has some team around him. So it'll be an experienced legal secretary or paralegal, and then some right-hand man or woman who you get to know, so that you know that if lawyer A is away, lawyer B is available to assist you. I've found through my experience, when you have a pair of lawyers, often having a male lawyer and a female lawyer is a good combo, because they will bring different things to a dispute resolution.
And you work a lot with Linda Kearns, who's a top family barrister, don't you?
Yes, I do. Linda's actually married to my managing partner,
right.
And I've got to know Linda really well over the last 7 or 8 years. So Linda, she's I think at least 35 years experience of only doing this. And how I came to work with Linda is my principal background was a commercial litigator in the corporate shark tank that the High Court can be, so that when there are disputes involving businesses, I can bring one aspect of experience and then couple that with Linda. And we also find that sort of the male-female approach is quite good, because you need to look at the psychology and the makeup of the party and the lawyer on the other side, and so sometimes we will switch around, and obviously we've got other cases and we go on holiday so that we can tag team in. So I think that that's an important attribute, is who's in the team. A much more practical and pragmatic concern, of course, is lawyers cost money. So you want to have some transparency around fees, Bridget.
Absolutely.
I think it's important that you find out, what is the hourly rate for the lawyer, because typically lawyers will charge on an hourly basis. But a lot of what lawyers are doing in family law, and indeed in other types of dispute resolution and litigation, an experienced lawyer has done it many times, so that person should know how much certain steps will cost in your litigation. So you shouldn't be shy in asking those questions and finding out. Indeed, in my own practice, I'm able to give people not just estimates, but sometimes fixed prices. So fixed prices on, getting the first, getting on top of the facts, getting the first couple of letters away, and then after that, if you haven't been able to resolve it, in my view, sometimes you need some blood on the floor, and by getting blood on the floor, what I mean is actually suing the person. Now, again, that sounds adversarial, not pleasant, but until you issue your legal proceedings, sometimes people won't take you seriously.
That's right, yeah, absolutely.
So in terms of costing that exercise, generally we can say to people, to get your case organised by way of an affidavit and a statement of claim. A statement of claim is your summary of your case. It's going to cost you X dollars. So that's another attribute I would look for in a lawyer, is transparency over fees. I think we're up to 5 now, Bridget.
Well done.
Is having a lawyer that's accessible is really important. Because lawyers sometimes get busy, or sometimes you get palmed off onto some junior lawyer and then you start losing confidence. Now, particularly in the early days of a dispute where you're still finding your feet and feeling shaky, you want to be able to pick up your phone and get a hold of your lawyer within a few hours. So my approach certainly in those early months, is to say to clients, look, this is a tough time, this is hard, because it does take courage to go through this, as I'm available pretty much 24/7 and also on the weekends. And not only that, some people may feel nervous about coming into a law office, so being flexible and say, look, I can meet you at a cafe, or indeed I can come out to your home. So accessibility, I think, is an important thing. I'm going to give you a bonus, Bridget. I'm going to give you a sixth attribute, and I think this is a really simple one. It's empathy. Okay, so it's a lawyer that can listen to you, and dare I say it, I think both of us, having been through divorce ourselves and having quite a multitude of children.
We do. We have 11 between us, don't we?
Yeah, well,
nearly 11.
Not
you and me, but
no,
together.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just clarify that.
Yeah. So someone that's walked in your shoes, someone that's got some life experience. There's some brilliant young lawyers out there, but this process isn't just about the law. It's understanding people and understanding the world. So I think your bonus attribute is empathy, Bridget.
Well, I think that's fantastic. It's really important that you have empathy. So how do people go around actually selecting their lawyer?
Great question. As I said before, lawyers aren't these priests or magicians. Don't have any fear. Most experienced lawyers will have available to potential clients, say, a 1 hour free consultation on a no obligation basis. So what you might want to do is maybe ask friends and family, do some research online, and you might come up with a list of 6 or 7. So sort of have a check through, see what you can find out about those people, and then you might come down to a short list of 3. So make contact with those lawyers and see if they're available to chat through with you your situation. And those lawyers may say, look, send me an email summary, just a sort of a one-pager of what your situation is, come in and see me, and then go and meet that person and see what the connection is like, because, you know, I'm not going to get on with everybody. See if the vibe's there, because, you know, you are going to be on a journey with this person for, you know, 6 months, or dare I say it could be 3 years. I mean, typically these disputes should be resolved in 12 to 18 months, depending on how difficult your ex-partner may be.
Well, and carrying on from that, when I see my clients and they need to be referred to a lawyer, I always give them a document which talks about what questions they need to ask themselves before they see a lawyer, and the questions that they need to ask a lawyer.
Yeah.
And that just ensures, and I say to them, go and see 2 or 3 lawyers,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then go with who you feel really comfortable with, who is actually going to be wanting to get the outcomes that you need.
Yeah, so looking for those qualities that we talked about earlier, Bridget, and don't be shy about asking about experience. You know, you could even ask, look, have you ever had any law society complaints against you? Because you don't want to have a lawyer who doesn't have a reputation that's helpful to you when appearing in front of the court.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.